I don't know if you've seen in the news, Amal, the Patriots have signed literally every single player on the free agent market.
They just signed another player just minutes ago. We're recording this live. Um, yeah, I can I guess start with we can go in order actually of the players that they have signed.
Yeah, we got to start with Cam Newton, I think, because Cam Newton, we didn't talk about it last week. But Cam Newton signed a 1 year, $14 million contract. And for me, it's kind of a weird contract. Like maybe the Patriots believe in Cam Newton to be the guy for this year, or maybe he's the long-term play, if you will. He is only, I think, 31. So maybe they think they can use him for the next 5 years. Or maybe he's sort of a place gap and a placeholder for a Trey Lance or a Mac Jones in the NFL draft. But the one true conclusion I can come from this Cam Newton deal is that Jarrett Stidham is not it, and that he is not even worth talking about on this podcast anymore.
100%. I think Jared Stidham's now. I think he's a foregone conclusion. I think he needs to move on and look for greener water. I think that's the best way to put it. But yeah, Cam Newton re-signed for a 1-year deal worth up to 13.6 million, but the base value is at 5.1. I think this was a smart deal. I think that they didn't want to just they wanted to give him one more year, and with their clear options that they're trying to make, I think it makes sense to make run it back for another year. Give him some more weapons. After that, they signed 2 receivers. They signed Nelson Agholor to a 2-year contract with 26 million. That's crazy for me. And then they signed Kendrick Bourne, 3 years, 22.5 million. That's also crazy for me. So I think they have been, they've been overpaying for these free agent players. But I think at the end of the day, it might be worth it because I think Cam Newton's getting great weapons alongside Julian Edelman already. That's already there. N'Keal Harry.
And you're forgetting the two
Jacoby
tight
Myers.
end set, Amal. The two
And
tight end
now
set.
I'm not finished yet. They got 2 tight ends, the best tight ends on the market, and Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. I mean, I could put it like $100,000 that I never ever expected Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith to be on the same team. I mean, the top 2 tight ends, I think you can definitely say they're both top 10, probably top 7 tight ends in the NFL. Hunter Henry signed for a 3-year, $37.5 million contract. Jonnu Smith signed for a 4-year, $50 million contract. I mean, the guaranteed money, man, is just going through the entire roof. Trent Brown, next, he got acquired for a trade. We talked about that last week. He's back. Then they got a center named Ted Karras on a $4 million deal. Then they got a defensive tackle, Devon Godchaux, for a 2-year deal worth $16 million. Then they got Henry Anderson for a 2-year, $7 million deal. They got Matthew Judon. I think that was the biggest name on the defensive side of the ball for a 4-year, $56 million deal from the Baltimore Ravens. That was a big move, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jalen Mills got signed for a 4-year, $24 million deal. Arib, the Green Goblin, is no longer wearing green. I think that's kind of disappointing to hear. Justin Bethel signed for a 3-year, $6 million deal. And then lastly, this just came in 5 minutes ago. Kyle Van Noy from the Miami Dolphins, a man that signed a massive contract with the Miami Dolphins from New England, has decided to return to New England after seeing all these crazy signings that they've made this offseason, and has decided to run it back with them another year. So, yeah, Reed, this is just an insane free agency for the New England Patriots, and probably the craziest one we'll ever see. I don't think any team can honestly be giving this much guaranteed money in one free agency. I mean, it's just insane what Bill Belichick's doing. I'm saying insane because it literally is just mind blowing.
Amal, they've signed so many players. I forgot to write down Matthew Judon in my notes. Like I just skipped over it because it's just like the list keeps going and going.
It's incredible.
Now, there's a few takeaways from this, right? First of all, with Cam Newton, who we just talked about, and how he may or may not be the future, I think they're giving Cam Newton the chance to really showcase his talents. First of all, one thing that's really under talked about, I think under the radar for Cam Newton, is that he had COVID. He literally got COVID, and in the middle of the season, he was playing well. And then suddenly after he got COVID, he wasn't playing as well. So like, I don't know, maybe there's a correlation. As we know from statistics, correlation is not always causation, but I mean, it seems kind of fishy for me that he was playing well and then he got the disease, and the disease impacts players differently. Like some people, don't have any impact. Some people actually get some serious impacts, and it impacts how they play on the football field. And I'm sure for Cam Newton, it definitely impacted him because he didn't look like the same player. And second, I think when we're talking about Cam Newton, is you got to flash back to 2019 when Tom Brady was there, and Tom Brady was throwing to Julian Edelman and Philip Dorsett and all these other bums. Well, Julian Edelman isn't a bum, but all these other losers up there in New England, like they had no one to throw to, and that carried over to 2020 where they had 12 passing touchdowns on the year, and Jacoby Myers, who's a wide receiver, threw 2 of them. So they had 10 passing touchdowns from their quarterbacks. Nelson Agholor alone had 8, and Kendrick Bourne had 2. So 10 of the passing touchdowns they're pretty much adding 10 passing touchdowns to their offense from last year. And Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, not even counting those guys. Hunter Henry, I think he's coming off a torn ACL, I believe, or he had a torn ACL the previous season. Yeah. So he has injury risk at the slightest. But the 2 tight end set, getting this getting these upgraded wide receivers, getting in a better offensive line because they just lost Joe Thuney to a team we're going to talk about later on, the Kansas City Chiefs, getting in this 2 tight end set. And I'm praying that one of these tight ends doesn't decide to kill somebody or commit murder randomly. So because we want to see a true tight end set them all. We don't want to see Aaron Hernandez 2.0 in New England. And it's just interesting because I saw the stat on all, and I calculated from the biggest contracts, and this is not even including Matthew Judon's contract or Kyle Van Noy, because I forgot about Matthew Judon and Kyle Van Noy just signed. But from when I wrote this number down, they had $190 million spent this year in free agency. And the previous 10 years, they spent $360 million. So that's just a massive difference in between the amount of spending from this year. Like, I'm sure everyone's like, why the hell is New England signing on everyone? Is this like irregular? It is extremely irregular because we don't see Bill Belichick pulling the trigger on these type of deals. And I've got to ask myself, because I looked at the schedule for 2021, and guess who faces each other? Bill Belichick is facing Tom Brady later on in the season. And I just got to wonder, maybe he just doesn't want to lose. And we saw obviously he doesn't want to lose, but I think that game definitely has some sort of extra meaning to him. And also we saw last year, Bill Belichick seemed more relaxed. He seemed more like okay with it. He didn't seem like he was chasing the win, if you will. He seemed way more relaxed. He went on the media and he was like, our roster just isn't good enough, flat out. And obviously he knew that. And now we're seeing him spend big time money to try to improve the offense, which has been stagnant, improve the defense by getting players back, and also getting players back from COVID in Dante Hightower and Patrick Chung. And yeah, those are older guys, but still that has an impact. This Patriots team is trying to rebuild really quickly and go for a Super Bowl run. In all honesty, that's what it's looking like from the outside eye. And I've got to wonder if Bill Belichick is really taking it personal, if you will, that, you know what, Tom Brady won a Super Bowl without me. Now it's my turn. The media is doubting me. All that nonsense. Everyone knows that Bill Belichick is the greatest coach of all time, and he has nothing to prove. But I've got to wonder if he still somehow has a chip on his shoulder to the point where, you know what, he's out here to prove the haters wrong, if you will. And I think the third thing that really stands out to me, Amal, and it stands out even more with Kyle Van Noy signing back with the Patriots. Free agents are coming to play for Bill Belichick. That's what it's coming down to. They're not. I highly doubt they're coming to play with Cam Newton because I frankly think Cam Newton's slightly washed. I don't think he's the top 5, top 10 player he was a few years ago. I don't think he's ever going to be that.
One. He was top 1, Arif.
Yeah, I don't think he's that type of player. Like if you're coming to New England, it's because you're coming to play for Bill Belichick. And I know lots of people were like, New England isn't going to be as hot of a free agent destination anymore because Tom Brady's gone. Clearly, we were wrong because they're still signing. And I've just got to think that maybe, just maybe, Bill Belichick is trying to go on a redemption tour.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers for this Kyle Van Noy contract is also crazy. I don't know where they're pulling this money from, man. It's a 2-year deal worth $13.2 million. I mean, dude, like the money. I mean, and on top of that, this was also an interesting fact. So the Patriots, when they let go of Kyle Van Noy last year, they got a compensatory 4th-round pick, and now they have Kyle Van Noy back within a year, and they still keep that 4th-round pick. So, I mean, they're playing chess, not checkers. So I think I like what I'm seeing from the New England Patriots, and I think you're right. I think Bill Belichick definitely does have a chip on his shoulder, seeing that Tom Brady just annihilated everyone in the playoffs and led the Bucks to win the Super Bowl. So he wants to try to get them to that position. But like you said, I mean, it's hard when the franchise quarterback right now this is not a stable. It's not in a stable position right now. Yes, we could even expect Mac Jones to take over from Cam Newton next year, like or a Trey Lance or any rookie quarterback, because it's completely unknown what's going to happen with this Cam Newton situation. If he's back to normal, then yeah, I mean the Pats could go like 10-6, 11-5 if things go like completely to plan. Because these signings are all like really good signings. Yes, some are overpaid. Like Nelson Agholor getting $13 million is something I'd never see in my life. I never foresee that. And after his play with the Eagles, you'd probably never foresee that either. But he got $13 million a year. Kendrick Bourne, I mean, these dudes are gonna be great. Like they're gonna be great targets. And Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith are two elite. I'm not two very good tight ends. So I think he should have no problems here with succeeding on the offensive side of the ball. And
And if he
yeah,
does them all, it's because Cam Newton is washed.
and I think we're at this point now where if the Patriots do not succeed this year, it will be because of Cam Newton.
Thanks for listening to this segment of the Flea Flicker NFL show. If you enjoyed, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Thanks for listening. Peace out and bye.